Bounce challenges one of the most deeply rooted beliefs in society, the belief that successful people are born different. Matthew Syed argues that the world's greatest performers in sports, music, business, and science are not the products of extraordinary genetics. Instead, they are the result of a powerful combination of opportunity, environment, mindset, and years of deliberate practice. This extended summary explores the book chapter by chapter, idea by idea, revealing Syed's central message: excellence is not a gift, but a construction. 1. The illusion of talent. Syed begins by deconstructing the myth of natural talent. People often assume that individuals like Serena Williams, Mozart, Tiger Woods, or Einstein possess special DNA that the rest of us do not. But when you peel back the layers of their life stories, a consistent pattern emerges. Early exposure, supportive mentors, years of training, and the right cultural environment. Humans love the talent myth because it simplifies the story. If someone is gifted, we don't need to ask how they got there. Syed argues that this belief is convenient, but wrong. It hides the hard work that actually leads to mastery. 2. The power of deliberate practice. At the heart of Bounce is a powerful idea. Success requires not just hours of practice, but the right kind of practice. Syed emphasizes deliberate practice, a focused, structured, demanding form of training where weaknesses are isolated, skills are broken down, goals are clear, feedback is immediate, repetition is purposeful. This type of practice is mentally tiring and emotionally challenging. It requires humility, discipline, and a willingness to constantly confront your limitations. Syed draws from scientific research and real-world examples to show that elite performers accumulate thousands of hours of such practice long before they are recognized as talented. This is why Mozart was composing at 5, because he lived inside a musical training system built by his father. It's why Tiger Woods had a golf club in his hands before he could talk. Their environments made deliberate practice unavoidable. 3. The role of opportunity. One of Syed's strongest arguments is that opportunities shape champions. Greatness isn't just about what you do, it's about what you have access to. Syed uses his own story. He and his brother grew up near a table tennis club that just happened to produce several world-class players. Why did a small neighborhood in Reading become a global hub for table tennis? It wasn't a coincidence. It was a self-sustaining environment with excellent coaches, accessible facilities, a culture of competition, a community that normalized practice. This created a pipeline where young players entered at the right age and received consistent guidance. He argues that behind every talented person is an infrastructure: family support, teachers, economic advantages, communities, role models, and early exposure that creates momentum. 4. The growth mindset versus the fixed mindset. Syed builds on the research of Carol Dweck to show that two mindsets dominate human behavior. A fixed mindset believes that intelligence and ability are static. People with this mindset avoid challenges, hate failure, quit when things get difficult, protect their image at all costs. A growth mindset believes that ability can grow with practice. People with this mindset to challenge themselves, see failure as feedback, embrace discomfort, keep practicing even when progress is slow. Syed argues that elite performers almost always hold a growth mindset, whether consciously or unconsciously. They believe improvement is possible, which fuels the persistence required for deliberate practice. This mindset becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy. The more someone improves, the more evidence they get that growth is possible, strengthening their belief in hard work. 5. Failure as a pathway to success. Failure is not the opposite of success, it is a fundamental part of it. Syed emphasizes that high performers fail more than anyone else, not because they are incapable, but because they constantly push their limits. They treat failure scientifically as information that exposes weaknesses and guides future practice. He writes about athletes who spend years losing before they ever win, scientists whose research collapses dozens of times, and entrepreneurs who use failure as a learning laboratory. Cultures that stigmatize failure prevent growth. Cultures that analyze failure encourage mastery. For Syed, the difference often determines whether potential becomes performance. 6. The myth of the child prodigy. Syed breaks down stories of supposed prodigies. He explains that prodigies are often created through a unique intersection of early exposure, consistent training, parental involvement, elite coaching, cultural encouragement, disciplined routine, thousands of hours of practice. He shows that Mozart's early works were not actually masterpieces. They were the exercises of a child undergoing intense training. Only after many years of practice did Mozart begin producing works of genius. When we label someone a prodigy, we overlook the accumulation of hidden advantages that made early mastery possible. 7. Confidence, mental strength, and the psychology of performance. Success is not just physical, it is deeply psychological. Syed explains that confidence grows from experience and repeated success. It allows performers to execute under pressure without collapsing mentally. Fear, doubt, and overthinking can sabotage even highly trained performers. Elite athletes learn self-talk, visualization, presence under pressure, emotional control, stress management. These mental skills are just as important as physical skills, and they require as much practice. 8. Why people choke under pressure. Syed dedicates a powerful section of the book to explaining choking, performing worse than usual when the stakes are high. Choking happens when conscious thought interferes with actions that should be automatic. When someone overthinks, they lose fluidity and natural instinct. The solution is to practice so deeply and consistently that skills become automatic. Under pressure, the brain should not think, it should execute. This concept applies to athletes, public speakers, musicians, and even people in everyday life situations. 9. The importance of culture and community. Syed shows that environments create champions. Cultures that value practice, honor discipline, and provide access to facilities and mentors produce higher levels of performance. This is why certain countries dominate specific sports or industries. The environment reinforces habits, expectations, and standards. The book argues that we underestimate the power of surroundings in shaping human potential. 10. The true formula for success. Syed concludes with a powerful thesis. Excellence is created at the intersection of opportunity, deliberate practice, supportive environments, growth mindset, resilience, confidence, repeated failure and learning. When these elements combine, the result looks like talent. But talent is simply the reflection of invisible effort. The message of Bounce is liberating. If greatness isn't inherited, then it can be built. If extraordinary performance isn't destiny, then it is possible for anyone willing to commit to the process. Syed wants readers to walk away with a new view of themselves, not limited by fixed abilities, but empowered by the knowledge that improvement is always possible.